how do you prepare for marriage? See, why we get married, what are the fears of marriage, and now how do we prepare? See, there are many things, and we have shared so many conferences, so many points. You know, you have to have a relationship with God, you have to have
which is primary, and we are not belittling that at all.
We have shared a lot about that, so I don't want to stress on that.
For time's sake, we're just moving on to the next.
So having a good relationship with people and God is very important, and you know, having a good career, good finances is very important as you prepare for marriage. Adam had a good relationship with God. Adam had a job. He was tending the garden, and that's when God gave him Eve. So if you're a guy who wants to get married, have a good job, have a good relationship with people and God. You know, that is a good criteria for you to get married. And even you know, many girls and women also are working now, which is absolutely good and okay. You know, so you girls, women also focus on building good careers, building good, healthy relationship with God and people. But one aspect that is not talked about, we want to talk about today for a few minutes, which is have accountability in your life. This is very important for people who want to get married. Do you have someone that you are accountable to? Are you a relational person? You know, if you're a guy who has no relationship with anyone, no friends, you know, you just, hi bro, bye bro, happy birthday bro, good night bro. If you're just like that, you can't see people, you can't meet people, they will say that don't get married.
And it's not just people, it's your family. Start with your family first. Start with your mom, your dad, your siblings, your closed circle, your aunts and uncles and grandparents. Learn to build a relationship there first.
So build relationships and then invite people to speak into your lives. Have accountability. Accountability is so important. Young people, when you're getting ready for marriage, when you want to get married, who's counseling you? Who's giving you guidance? Who are you accountable to? You know, have you shared with people, pastor or, you know, a spiritual brother or a spiritual aunt or uncle, you know, that you look up to who's a little mature in the Lord? Are you sharing with them your journey? And, you know, people should be able to certify you. Your leaders should be able to certify you so that you can get married. Now, again, I know certify is a very, religious, legal term, but approve. You know, the Bible talks about approve, right? You know, approve oneself. You know, prove yourself. Paul tells Timothy, prove yourself, study the word. So there has to be a certain amount of approval that you get from pastors, leaders, people that you're accountable to. Okay, I'll just tell you one very beautiful tip, a very important tip if you want to get married. If you're a boy or a girl and you like someone and you want to marry them, ask them, who are you accountable to? Okay, just ask them that one question. Do you have people in your life that you are accountable to? Are you accountable to your parents, pastors, or leaders? You know, I want to meet them and meet the people that they are accountable to. If they have no accountability, you know, ask them to take time and build accountable relationships. I'm not saying don't get married if they don't have accountability, because half the people don't have accountability nowadays, and this is a very rare concept, especially for young people. I like that girl, I want to marry her, okay, go get married. No, we were accountable to Pastor Jesudian and Pastor Lavina. They journeyed with us. I have wonderful mentors in my life. I honor the life of Pastor Paul Tangya, Pastor Sammy Tangya, Prophet Kiran Ezekiel, Pastor Jesudian, and his wife. They are all mentors in my life. We have invited Pastor Jesudian and his wife into our lives to journey with us. We are accountable to them.
Especially on our marriage. When he was young, he was accountable to so many other people. But we are accountable to them because they chose us to, invest in our marriage. So we want to become better people. We want to work on our marriage. We want to value our marriage, and we want our marriage to grow.
So before we got married, we used to inform them, Anna,
when we went dating.
Anna, I'm meeting Cherith for coffee today. I had to inform them, and then I go meet her. So they keep us accountable. It's not a control thing. Oh, we have to keep them in control. Otherwise they'll sin and they'll fall. No, it's not like that. It is a healthy thing to be accountable. It is a wise thing for you to receive accountability into your life. So before you get married, all these things, work is important, relationship with God, all those things are very important. I'm not belittling that. But this aspect is very less nowadays. Make sure you fix this aspect. So if you want to get married, be accountable to someone, accountable to people, and journey with them. And so what do I do if I'm accountable? Share this side of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we say accountability, it's not just saying, Pastor, I am going to meet my girlfriend today. Pastor, we are meeting at coffee day. No, share this side. Work on these issues before you get married. Yeah. You don't have to, yeah, obviously, even after you get married, you can work on it. But marriage is an amplifier.
There are certain red flags that can tear the other person down, not just you. Right? Certain things can really hurt the other person as well if you take it into marriage. And it is a wise thing that if you can recognize these things, make a prayer, say, God, I want to recognize these things, I want to be accountable, show me how to do this, and God will align your steps.
Yeah.
Right? He will tell you what to share, what to withhold, what to work on, what can be left for later. But there are certain red flags that need to be addressed before you can step into marriage, because as Bernard said, marriage amplifies certain issues. For example, let me give you an example. If you have an issue with pornography and masturbation and other sort of sexual sin, why I'm saying pornography and masturbation, it is so rampant, unfortunately it's become very common these days due to the easy access of these things, right? So young people, it's not just boys, it's girls as well. It's just the young people who've become addicted to it, who've become hooked on. And if you are in a place where you take that into marriage, many people say this phrase, right? Kalyanam panni vei, ellame seriya poirum. Get married, everything will settle down.
Oh, nonsense.
So, porn and masturbation, everybody looks at it as a lustful sexual thing. Yeah. So you feel like, okay, so when I get married, I'll be able to have sex, so I'll have a control over my desires. That is a lie. That is not true. Porn and masturbation are things, and especially when it comes to sexual sin, there is deep roots inside that go deep down into your childhood, your upbringing, your parents, your community, your friendships, abuses. So it is very deeply rooted. So if you think that you get married and everything will settle down, let me tell you, you will get married and you will continue to watch pornography, continue to masturbate, continue to violate your wife that way or your husband that way, and that is disrespecting that other person. You are defiling your marriage by doing that. So it's not going to be fixed there.
Yeah, so
right?
Marriage does not fix your problems.
It does not.
Marriage amplifies your problems. Okay, remember that.
It's not all the problems, but there are some red flags, I said, need to be dealt with. For example, if you have severe anger issues and if you're a man, let me tell you, please, it is a request. As a woman, see, we are made a lot weaker than a man physically, right? So, especially sometimes during our fights, when Bernard shouts, I just shut down. I become so small. It makes me afraid.
And that's not a good thing. That's not a, hey, parra, na epdi katra. No, some people are proud of that. Some people are like, when I shout, she'll go like that. Some people like that. That is the crazy amount of mess that is happening. So when we talk about,
Yeah, so I'm saying certain red flags. When we say address these things with people, you don't have to go and sit for a counseling session on, let's say, for example, you are feeling jealous. That's not something that you need to sit in with a counseling session and fix right away. But for you, it may be. So it differs from person to person. You need God there, right? We're not asking you to do anything, any of these things on your own. God is there, right? So you need to ask God, what are these red flags that I need to work on? So I gave you an example of porn and masturbation and anger issues, especially for men.
Yeah, and
right?
these
a few
issues,
examples.
Thank you. So these are issues that I had to be accountable to and open up with. Yeah, so I struggled with all these things that she is mentioning about porn, masturbation, anger, insecurities, and it was something that I had to bring to the table and share with my leaders, share with trusted people, and invite help, ask them to help me. And throughout the journey, I've seen things break, I've seen things drastically reduce, I've experienced levels of freedom. Why? Because I brought it to light. So especially among Christians and churches, this is so rampant, but nobody talks about it. I know a person who got married and he had such sexual issues where, when his wife comes to touch him, he'll run away. He'll feel scared. He doesn't know what to do. He's scared of sex. He's scared of these things. So he runs away. That's why you need to have accountability. That's why you need to be vulnerable and share with people. I'm struggling with these issues. Can you help me out? Instead of getting into a marriage and sitting and abusing each other, destroying each other. How many marriages we have been counseling where, because the husband doesn't work on his issues, because the wife doesn't work on her issues, they are suffering right now. The children are suffering right now. So much of crazy mess is there because you're just being prideful and not having the humility to share and receive help. You might say, I'll talk to God about it. Well, all the best. See how that works for you. It's not going to work because that's why God has given us people.
That's why God created people. That's what God created community for. Let's go back to the beginning. If God was enough, why did He create Eve?
Yeah. Many people say, God will help me. Yes, it is God who helps.
It is through His leading.
Yeah.
It is with His guidance that He directs you. There is nothing, when Bernard said this, I never understood it, but he said there is nothing God would do without people. Think about anything, there will be a person involved.
Yeah. And you have to understand, James chapter 5, I think verse 16, it says, confess your trespasses to one another. That is, confess your sins, confess your failures to one another, and pray for one another. It doesn't say, God will heal you directly. It says, when you do this, God will heal you. So God is involved in the healing. You sharing with me is not going to bring healing. I'm not the healer. You are not the healer. Our leaders are not the healer. But God works the healing process by one another, by sharing your issues. So this is something that every young person should have. Counselors.
Counsel. Solomon, the wisest king, right? What did he ask for? He asked God for a hearing heart. So he was bestowed with wisdom. And if you know Solomon, you know he wrote the book of Proverbs. And you know that in his life, he had trusted people he would go to for all of these issues, right? He would get counsel from these wise men.
In the later part of his life is actually when he writes Proverbs.
Yeah.
After making all the mess, he says, listen to counsel, listen to counsel.
A wise man receives correction, he invites correction, right?
So, this one thing can really change your life, personally and your married life. You have to be approved by the people that you're accountable to. And you need to trust them. If they say wait, learn to wait. If they say take time, learn to take time. Don't hurry into marriage. Don't jump into marriage. Don't worry about age and this and that. If your leaders are seeing something that you're not able to see, trust them. That's how
That's what we did.
That's what we do. So find someone, and if you don't have anyone, we are here for you. If you want any help in any of these areas, reach out to us. We will see. I'm not committing to help all of you because I don't think we have the time to help everyone. But if you are really serious and
we can help you connect with trusted people, right?
Yes.
That's something we will do.
Yeah.
See, if we can personally invest, we will. But every person has only that much ability.
Yeah.
So because we're a church, we're a small group of people, we're able to
do it with many.
To do it with a lot of people that we have. So consider a place like, let's say, a huge church with thousands of people. The pastor or his wife are not going to be able to connect with everybody and help them. But if you see, they will have designated people, trusted people who can help. So if you need help at all, let us know, reach out to us, and we will direct you or guide you to people who can invest in you, who can help.
Yeah. We are journeying with a lot of people. Already, so many people have opened up to us, to her, to me. Boys have opened up to me, girls have opened up to her about their insecurities, sexual abuses, addictions, and we're journeying with people. In fact, yesterday, one person messaged me, right? Yesterday?
Oh, this was so wonderful, because this is someone we know for a very long time, and this person was a little child when we knew them. And out of the blue yesterday, via ministry, media, or whatever ways, because we have been very vocal about sexual struggles and, being open to help others, this young person randomly reached out to us and said, I have this, I'm struggling with this. this issue, I really want to get out of it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
want
struggling
you to
with
help me.
porn issue. It is affecting my studies and academics. I don't know what to do. I'm really messed up. Please help me. And I was so glad because this is a person we know for a very long time.
Very long time, and
I mean, these people.
This person is an unbeliever. No Christian involvement at all.
Yeah.
But just because we stood and chose to speak and create a platform where, you know, we're offering to help people, somebody reached out. So you can do the same for those people, for in fact anyone in your life.
It is difficult. It is difficult to let down the leaves and show this side of your life to people.
It's scary.
I'm not saying show this to Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram. Tell everyone I watch porn. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying share it with trusted people who can help you. There are people when you say I watch porn, they say, hey, somebody, nanu paakren. You know, that's not accountability. That is, you know, just doing, what's that word?
Shameless culture.
Shameless culture. That's not a shame-free culture. So, this is very important. Fix this before you get married.